Yasatna CBM Adom TV so na a special edition of a year 2022 budget presentation na your finance minister Yera Keno Furiata ebeye e member asebedwe fie na yehunu ye omei sika sema ko homa ye bo eden na mpanifo ani edaso eden no hwehwe se won sabeka ede from manfo yetememfo in the form of taxes anye bia expenditure so say na aban e propose so person ye no na ebenya tobase na bra pani na ba ho yakwa kwaje nsem ni nyina na enya ntobase so adwudwam kama odwumtini Bob Marley kan sem bi or see if you want to build a great future you can't forget your past and unti kwambi aso no we dey free krom hen aben a we yera wadwabo ase sede ebeye na ye behunu se enensem kra empanifo ye o menfo to samfo ne hwe o mesika sem nyina aso no wode beto dwa no ewo nyina so a ni ebu nkompa akwa hwe enioma hodo aye boro so afrase anye bi ade hin ne duru ho ebi kamu ebepie afi mu ana se die kranti ne kamu sankomo no ye benya ntobase na ye di midi nana say ampofo jebili assisted by matter akwa ne a huge production team Sarah and so director hwese bibia bekoso ye wo ground e wo omen parliament acha ye yemia bema dache hene nana ya lai asante e wo ho achese enkoma hodo a ekoso even before say the finance minister be wura the chamber of parliament no ye be didi enkomo kakra na expectations from the members of parliament awomo any the true representatives of the people are ewo omen mu hanum senti quickly yenko dache hene ma yama akwaba na yenhwe de ekoso parliament sisi a megidiye se empanifo dodo na atenase a ye twen finance minister enkomo ben na udi sisi amayen
and I say they do her so only my and my food for a day Yakoma, Sikano, and I say Yakoma, some about to Ghana, Senia, Bobreno, a city, and I don't pay they do had the Macmiaka say, who caught the floor of parliament and penny for MPs at Hudwa. I was over Banyana, Ababetanase, Akasa speaker, Babetana game, not as proceedings of the house, no, yet the assessor. Never see a buyer, no, Komoka cry, Yatino, Ewa grounds, no, and I'm passing Timuka cry, Edichero. Say over here 50% benchmark ye edi free ho especially on these automobile companies or more mokra spare parts ni cars ni ade beton wo Ghana ha no entie yenya no say ade a almost ha ade ba say almost ha the bad dia meaning say the prices of see these spare parts any cars ahodo ye ton no memo no ade a ebesan akosoro esan say duties na daso a motua no report na ade a ene so besan akosoro eno any asemba akwa yate eba no the agri sector only say the fertilizer eba no planting for food and jobs na aban no etete fertilizer so na de ma ekuafo no eto edi ye enfo ahodo ya tese ade a sa policy na ade o review na so omo review what will be the fate of the farmers no the etiti say one share the farmers no was omoko adwaman so na senia obi a etono no omo so etumi etono ho basa na ntofo bebe na ka se ebema nuane bo eno so akosoro some expectation ankrofo omo hwehwe se omo betumi ehunu ene se oman mu emebunu ahodo adikan kan se edwuma emebunu so mo pe edwuma ye are we expecting say this particular budget no edi enwuma ebeba na finance minister amaye di Kenya hu say uba no government sector na ade a payroll no ayema entianya de ebetumi afanipa ade aka ho. Are we going to see anything different today? And I say obekinkan budget ni wi a yebehunu say ne yebetumi afanipa within the government sector and I say entumi afanipa within the government sector eno na nipa bibe na ehwe say ansa na yebekan budget ye wie no ne yenim say ye free covid mu na say ye covid afina ye free covid mu a ye ba ye recovery from covid no. Are we foreseeing the budget to be the one the enuma bebre na beban are we foreseeing the budget introduce more taxes on the ordinary Ghanaian nkofo bebre can say coming from a digitized economy I see a digitization you know now the tax net is widened and we have to see more people so pay tax instead of say burdening the few people with more tax. Are we going to see anything like that? and I say here who be bias and I say these are the conversation also between some members of parliament. They are telling you say they want to see a budget that will give job to the youth, and then you're graduating almost 1 million students from the university. When they come into the public space, how are we going to absorb them into the public sector? How are we going to employ them? Are we going to have an enabling environment? These are the conversations you're having in our parliament. Yes, but Finance Minister Bedrua, after the reading of the budget, these are things the ordinary Ghanaian want to see. I was so kind for me, so on my ready because your teaching said benchmark almost had a banner until say Obekindly who said Yadiabano is also another thing. International the expectations in the Encrofor baby now our different expectations. The expectations are high. Say Yabenya a bit of relief because fuel Nibua a Kosro ama Nipa a team our Ghana so mine more doing. After this budget, are we going to see say a normal docofum and I say Encofontinas and now beside now we and a cost will all right, that's in the Mamma was saying now. You go to watch and you more train finance minister, Ebeba Abra, a speaker of parliament, Abetana Senate parliament. I release straight into session. Nature said Yakabiano, Yabeba near Babaji, and then Uncle Maidi, and Yabinian to Wasie, the penny 42 gano, na ye drum kakra. I'm also waiting me and your haunty as a budget and I be a day in the trim. Because I say a phrase a 12 for Robins in Numa, a buyer, na Mountphobi. Mwashi show mukakra no boa manema pija e binom so je sese ato makoma ko be senum na no driver unions no drafo nka bomuko no sha se omo eboban tuja no omo chirim sese ato no bi ti se COVID-19 recovery levy ne financial sector recovery levy no ne ho ahwan no nyina mpedifo pe bi mfa matansa sanitation levy ne de keka ho ene be se anye bia aban tie no e wa sopamu ana ba se dem di kan no se de Bob Marley kan say you can't build a great future without ebia wo wi befi eye babia wo free ba no yenkohwe in the year 2021 year wo mi obeka ya ye to about 2020 into budget for the year no ye di kan eye ye be hwe man for first 3 months no ewo eye mfiempino ane aduonu 2020 no into from March 2021 na budget ye de be hwe afe no proper nankasa na fe na ne ye kan unfortunately that time no na ye finance minister na ne ho emfadinti no eye majority leader I was no one the same minister for parliamentary affairs. You were also chairman Sabus ni jina na nemu eken kan sa budget no e de ema initially BCO vice president ba be kan BCO you were lankoju chairman ba be kan hu ye na na akwakoto you were also chairman Sabus so ono na be kan ye projections aye ni ma ebo so no emu de he na okai me refresh your memory kakra ye nka ka ye ho na ye ba ye nyanto wase ahwe se anye bia akosi sen.
The preoccupation of government in 2021, and the medium term, and therefore, is to implement measures of government in 2021. In the medium term, therefore, is to implement measures to mitigate the impact of the pandemic with a view to returning the economy to strong and sustainable growth while protecting lives and livelihoods. Mr. Speaker, government will continue to 1. Build strong macroeconomic fundamentals. 2. Sustain investments in productive infrastructure. 3. Develop a competitive world-class human capital. 4. Promote an efficient, well-capitalized financial sector. Build a competitive business environment anchored on scientific and technological innovation. And 6. Pursue a robust social protection system that guarantees an acceptable standard of living for all, consistent with the vision of Ghana Beyond Aid and the President's coordinated program. The broad macroeconomic objectives to support our vision and development goals in the medium term are: A. Restore and sustain macroeconomic stability anchored on fiscal discipline and ensuring debt sustainability. We are cocksure we can do that with better managers in control of the steering wheel.
Your penny can with better managers. This is the assessment now. My name said OBC score. Now, see, I me go through some of the figures. It would a phrase with regards to inflation, GDP. said the growth no said the penno inflation as at I think September over around 10 point something. To see at the end of October no akwa drew 11%. Yenim over projection and penny for baby a omo say inflation ebi akwa drew no around 8%. Afeno nko na wi e de baby e nam 11% no. Say wo calculate afeno de aka na wo say wo check ahwa be den say be achieve then account for sade no eno so ebinya nto wase na ye biebie eno nso mu ye be kwa kohwe de efa your friend say GDP ho eno so ho asem say abanka so be create a enabling environment ama ye mabunu no enwumayo entete ni ade be koso ye bo kira sa na tie pepepe ye benya nto wase na yahwe eno nso eso afei in 2021 budget there was a portion na ne fa bi ho no mo a ye say COVID-19 ahokyere a de aba adwumawuranom ani nnwuma so nti no say tax stamp no ne ade bi ho no mo na ke be suspend kakra but yenkonko tie eno na yemmisa say anye bi adwumafo nya saa akonya no omo hen ha omo saa to ho nsensem na
Government is therefore rolling out these additional reliefs for different sections of the population, especially those hardest hit by the pandemic. One, tax rebate. Provision of a rebate of 30% of the income tax due to companies, hotels and restaurants, education, arts and entertainment, and for the second, third, and fourth quarters of 2021. Tax stamps. Suspension of quarterly income tax installment payments for the second, third, and fourth quarters of 2021 for small businesses using the income tax stamp system. Vehicle income tax. Suspension of quarterly installment payments of the vehicle income tax for the third, fourth, and fourth quarters of 2021 for trusts and taxes as part of measures to reduce the cost of transportation. Mr. Speaker, in line with your pause for effect, your system of pause for effect, can I repeat this? Suspension of quarterly installment payments of vehicle income tax for the third and fourth quarters of 2021 for truck trusts and taxis as part of measures to reduce the cost of transportation.
It is what's your opinion? I say, sa portion of a budget is anything yanshada anti home community yanshada highlight papa until say ye butchery in ye home and ye be a driver ni say truck driver ni and taxi driver ni maybe say sa quarterly vehicle income tax no the tuan bosome miensa no second quarter third quarter na fourth quarter no fourth quarter ni me fancy bia if October ekui ne bia e be setwa nti second quarter no starts from me fancy April, May, June and third one no June, July, September June, July, August, September yeah nti anye bia no sa quarters ya ye kan second, third and fourth no utwae dia na ne emfumso aba se aban ye se 2021 ni covid ho ahochiri nti no be suspended afi a tax stamp for a year small and medium scale enterprises no so no ti se omo a year drinks no ni nsuo ni ada yi stamp ya mo to de boy ye so ho suspension ye ka se ye be suspended for second, third and fourth. Enti anye bia eno so ye bisa unso utwae so ho asem sana untwae na nam so ma eye Ghana Revenue Authority for betatao because is stating emphatically we budget nim for 2021 say ye be suspended for second, third and fourth quarter no na etimi e the relief kakra bi abre eye adwumafo nti we some of the highlighter e ba ye afei enche bia ye be ko eye omemra so dwefie ho na de ensem a yewura kan ofuri atade beba wo hwe nkomodi a ye ne omanfo ediye even before say ne e ba betena se ya ade a edi akotene yie papa eye fuel prices increases se say de eba na eba afi all right what yentie fuel prices ho ensem especially in some of comfort energy nyina ho no yentie eno na yemra.
Exchange market was relatively stable and local currency performed better in 2020 than in 2019. Pressures from corporate demand, energy-related forex demand, and pandemic-induced portfolio outflows were offset by improved forex inflows, mainly from the Eurobond issuance and the IMF Rapid Credit Facility. These were complemented by the substantial reserve build-up by the Bank of Ghana at the end of 2019. Cumulatively, Mr. Speaker, the Ghana cedi depreciated against the United States dollar, the pound sterling, the euro by 3.9%, 7.1% and 12.1% respectively. This compares with the larger depreciation rates of 12.9%, 15.7% and 11.2% for the United States dollar, pound sterling and euro respectively during the same period in 2019. It is worth noting that the depreciation of the Ghana cedi against the US dollar in 2020 is the lowest recorded in the Fourth Republic, notwithstanding the COVID-19 pandemic. It is worth noting, since my colleague the Honorable Atuforsin is beckoning me to state that the depreciation of Ghana cedi against the United States dollar in 2020 is the lowest recorded in the Fourth Republic, notwithstanding the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. Speaker, the 2020 fiscal policy objectives were adversely affected by the outbreak of the 2019 pandemic, which resulted in the recalibration of the 2020 fiscal framework during the 2020 mid-year fiscal policy review to accommodate the unanticipated shocks and enable Ghana government to implement policies and programs to ensure that both lives and livelihoods were protected. Mr. Speaker, despite the impact of the pandemic, the rate of growth of the public debt has been lower under our government than under previous governments. The rate of growth, and do the calculations on not your laptops, but on your cell phones. Mr. Speaker, the rate of debt growth was lower than investments in our flagship programs such as free senior high school, planting for food and jobs, NAPCO, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, one constituency, one ambulance, and the restoration of teacher and nursing training allowances, among others, while maintaining relative macroeconomic and exchange rate stability. Mr. Speaker, this reinforces the fact that the Akufo-Addo and indeed the NPP government are simply better managers of the economy and better protectors of the public purse. Manage the EPC contract has commenced. The Speaker, to strengthen our national grid, the following projects, which are various stages of completion, will continue in 2021. Lot 1, the Kumasi Kintampo of the 330 kV Kumasi Bolgatanga transmission line project is nearing completion. The 161 kV Volta Achimota Malam transmission line upgrade project has an overall works completion rate of 53% for the Volta Achimota section and 31% completion rate for the Achimota Malam transmission line. Remedial works on the Abuazi Prestia 330 kV transmission line is 90% complete, and construction works of the A4BSB Pokwasi bulk supply is 92% complete. Mr. Speaker, other projects to be pursued in 2021 include the construction of a new substation at Dunkwa on Ofin, reconstruction of the overaged 161 kV transmission lines from the Abuazi through Dunkwa to Asarienso.
Energy sector in some more boss war and the construction of substations in the home Pokwasi there 92% at the time no nina say or more complete if you want more still ongoing binyant was here near the boy no but make us say that any honorable kwasiaka oye Amenfi Central and Rashabi Edin Komo Yenkuti and Koma Omodi no kakra
my young watchers say because Bobosiana I don't to see hospitals some Hamadi or Bobosiana or the sea hospital I'm out for by Edma Omiyadma Ombetia tax or see secondary schools no and Kalawi school Omba Chradia or Omtradia Ombetia taxes and Yamabe Broye Aquine Airport and the Koshe Airport a Doma Ayajumo Nina Yadia Omutia tax now the Chia Sabosiana.
Are you by any means say Yabobusia you can't see anything? We are doing free research, one district, one factory, and all those things in this country. One
district, one factory, no. Obina district, one factory, and I say, I buy a factory. Me the young district, no, a factory room. So what who factory beer or beer? On can't say buying a beer factory. I call Bobusia, no, there may be a factory. Mon can't say, maybe district we all me who factory beer, you know. So they promise one district, one factory, no. A cropon a baby. Amenfi East, me who district beer a factory beer mine ho. Amenfi West. Me who factory beer mine ho. And to Oberjamba can I district 1 for 120. I hear fan my no. On tray, and I didn't produce. Now, free SHS, I won't cannot. Free SHS, no, it's kind of cry. Every time I catch us education committee, a question one. And Kala in a motion school. And Kala be brain now, you're day students. But class you of your classy, no about a cry. You say day student, your man one hot meal, you say free SHS, or no behind a dine, or not to be an part, or to be an enemy, who's a free SHS. You Kalana, or more echo board na, a bunch of before this. No scholarship or Coco Marketing Board scholarship, government scholarship. Into what has changed? And now almost HSS cannot. And then you know,
honorable, say a consumer say within the automobile industry, I can say and 30% bench, 50% benchmark near reverse it back into the system. So we can help our automobile industry or Ghana to be able to grow. And you are saying, sir. Who see a producer kabia. What do you think the government want to toe that particular line? Say, and idea of person of Buama industry.
I said the government is broke. Only Sika and they say there instead of IMF no. I won't criticize it, Yano. The buyer say easiest way. To COVID by what do I excuse? My COVID tax. Ghana honey baby, ya tax for COVID home. Other countries, rather no, I buy any Triasica and my citizens. I had the emoji at work. Who share Bola was the answer, your taxes. No, what's answer the Bola tax diaba? And you my judge, there's no way out. And they say no, I don't for kind for on budget tax. It's answer, oh, yes, tax no more genius emoji at the production across. Because oh, you just had and I don't was a production near Koso. Production near Koso, companies number competition. From foreign import, no, high. And Sana was okay, may slap this thing on imported goods. Now, I didn't know you don't factory, no, said they're making. Neither now slap import taxes, well, goods now, yeah, Obama prices near the Acoso. Back to your fertilizer near the Americano. And more NDC buy a horror, near my fertilizer free. Cocoa farmers near the never free. There were lapses, now I buy when I criticize it. And you say, oh, mobile, on by improve. No, yes, be a free ninja. Mobile fertilizer near crano, ego not for sale, no, and a mobile tony. A fair what ton of a crafty, omnious calculation venture. More planting for food and jobs. I hear a failure. How much ye may say be a winding. And she say, no, fertilizer number some day, but some but you have a charity said you're not and NDC near the China means of much myself. It sounds like the country is broke. Be beyond way fuel price a cost through a BBA work cost through and that Okoba Bia. Obajana, yes, some price no. Dollar, Unyaya, yes, some price no. Because but we also can say, so economy no the tricks are the exchange rate will expose you. So say you know, on another some more kind, any idea judge no.
Into the budget and the quantity to see a be kind in no. Are we seeing the first budget way at the Numa brain? Because all the time in Parliament, you banners you be kind budget in area. One thing we have seen over the years, and they say the NDC will come and criticize if they are the one in opposition, and the MPP will come and criticize if they are the one in opposition. Why are we not moving from this kind of politics? What really actually is the fact in the budget?
It's a job in a year, into exercise, that is in order. Because policy being perfect. Now, just say, you NDC, young MPP, no, and would you hear judge? Because NDC Chama, Yabobusiana, no more criticizes a Dawson. We can see the airport. Is it not yielding? The airport is paying for itself. We can see the hospitals. A young rich hospital, University of Ghana Medical Center, and to criticize yes, say no criticism, no, is it valid or not? More Bobusia, I say a bambia or so. As so dear young free SHS are first, or can be also free SHS, or can be also free SHS, and memoir don't say free SHS, ensuring house a free SHS, hospital also free SHS, and a free SHS. I could dream. I have Bassan, Qualeco school 2 weeks near better fee, and it has failed. And told me and compare near money, you know, to say, you know, dear now on Bobusian a dear. And now here other people more loans no kwa de guso the one drew cry no 3.something billion na o ma ye no 38 billion or so na o ma ye no still enyan sign on be bobusia bi onti me compare media make us criticize also or criticize it now me in this time ya ho kire yin yeah president
Honorable, is that not more or less like below the belt? Say we are looking at actually issues that are pertaining to the budget and then we can see the fate because also other people say we are seeing almost loans each and every budget be kind of organize we end up going for a facility to be able to support this loan. So is it a new thing?
The Americans say last year budget compare say some of kai mu dia hin my na sambre no na ehiem say president about rent plane £15,000 an hour. No, it was not there. Our president, which is not fair. Counter, you won't now by increase the taxes. No, and get the president so all level a quite be sure. And she about say, or level, we say, oh yeah, or chicken on kakra. Because a man my heading, or be a sister man my heading. Now, by more tax. Now the sorry, no high plane. Now the name a country, no special plane. Special plane. The son say, Ghana president or plane of her over to me Odiako. Who pay comfort in Tino, open plane over to me Gary. And the budget na yebayano. Sassy number 2 to her. Abama president Quay, more dear a 2 Quay, I hide a or dear 2 Quay. And she made at the paper be a free mumma. To say you more.
What are the expectations? Crawford be near Castle or minor widening, fewer board air cost row any other day. Does it affect the people in your community? What are the expectations when it comes to this particular budget? Say, budget, can you remember fuel, boate, swate? Do you anticipate that? What are your expectations? Himself, no, but kind of expectation it is saying.
And I'm just saying, the medical can say, oh, ma, I dear be my family. They are rather no, you can't budget if you are both and you may be a cost row. Petrol, Oma can't so quite a cost row. Dollar, Oma can't a cost row. Maybe constituents, the area say, Enka, or cotton cocoa now, Sicano on your film, or but media cement, or the media roofing sheet, now or the acquired body dance. Sa a year by year, say cement micro 53-54 cedis per bag. In chance, about 700 cedis a packet. On by then, why, ne cocoa now autumn is the diatoso at 4.75. For 5 years, cocoa price of Hanegina. Cement price are double.
Was it for 5 years in 2 cocoa? Yeah,
2 one no, I'm about 35 cedis nearly torso per bag. And in the minimum, yan 2 cocoa mobile. And so, a near man say, Antiquino or Cotadiano on a day, cocoa in a year 2 no, a day and near man born a marchi. No moment of cement price no almost double within this period. Na ne income so a year ne cocoa na also all ton so cocoa born so encourse baby jina ne jina. Enti ama ekuafo no ho akire won se okwe ho na on wa kire on fertilizer no so anka yedi mo free na yemfa ma on kire ukoto yesi atiso abanso atiso wo tiso no na ne bo no yesen na wo tiso nti ama o nyina ho akire wa ese okwe ho ehia pa na wisa won akwan nyina so nye aban dia kwan ahye budget ho ahye and so kwa so fast from board here to asekregwa kwan ne nya every time bia ubia bisa me
okay your friend honorable Kwachiaka ono Amenfi Central na sebedwani na ye ne no twetwe enkomo no enti swiftly when say odudo na atnase wo plenary a mo twen say finance minister Badkin abepiem na yede enkomo no enso atoa so ewo ho metwea ben Alhaji Fuseni ono enso eka NDC mrahye bedwafo no na yede ne di enkomo no ye bisa no so ne perspective say ne constituency ba ne budget ya what do they want omo bien and the budget mu edimamo honorable bibia boko
masa anya boko
adentire anya boko
masa unsa o man anko yie kura ahuchire ne ebursu kura this time Ghanaians are suffering too much under this hopelessly uninspiring government.
Why are you saying so?
Masa, you are suffering, you know it. There's nothing working. The economy is so hard. Look at the prices of goods and services. Are you expecting? Can you expect something from nothing? There's nothing. They have run the country to the ground. Even they have to go and borrow. Oma bankrupt economy no. Want to say Ghana is among 34 countries in Africa. Eco HIPIC, another IMF and World Bank. As a because of unsustainable debt. A situation where Ukoji your total tax receipts a bit to take care of only two items: compensation and interest payments. 128%.
Where? So why were you still approving loans?
Because, like, I'm sure that you are aware of the debate that has gone on this floor. Our side of the bargain said that no, there are some of the loans we are not in favor of approving them, and there have been some loans we have not voted for. But they had the majority. So far this year, very few loans have come. But previously, no more than 169 members of parliament out of the 275. So they had their way. But previous one nearby, Obiang would say, you oppose some of those loans because we thought that you're responsible borrowing. But anya buy no more opposition, no more catch say, Nana Kufado Kase, yet is Sikasu, and yes, sir. So come the nice canoe wine, Sika the Etinus wine. You be said Nana Kufado, Sika the opposition or Kase, yet Sikasu na come the ne or wine, Sikan wine.
Honorable, you are saying, say, this particular budget and you don't have any hope in this budget.
Look. Let me tell you, Mamima scenario with 33 African countries as HIPIC. So it means that your debt is unsustainable. You can no longer go on with any borrowing. The recent time, Gabi Ochidaku, Nipepanu, statesman, were published the bond the government went to look for money, it flopped. And you mean, no a person blaming some George said, Ghana bonds until Obia journey away from Ghana now because of our unsustainable debt, high level of debt. So Ghana is a risky country now to do business with and especially to invest because of the debt they are buying. And are buying President Mamaja office on the 7th of January 2017. Total indebtedness from independence to that time 120 billion. The debt is over 336 billion. Nana Akufo-Addo what the 226 billion account in 4 years. And then you ask yourself, what have they done with that money? That's why they themselves are saying that. From that standpoint, what can come out of the budget? Where is the government going to get the resources? As we speak, 2021, tax revenue, they are having a deficit. Almost to hit the target. Expenditure is in disarray. Inflation is on the rise. Our exchange rate is depreciating. So there's nothing working. So you can see the picture clearly, even before the finance minister comes. Until Omu were two options. One, either to go back to the IMF or increase taxes. Those are the two things. And they're saying that Omu to be called IMF because Omu Babe Kanche say going to IMF is a lazy option. What to make us say finance minister why you can keep party. Omu you can keep party at the finance ministry to celebrate their exit from the IMF. Because of what he has said, the only thing is to offload more taxes onto Ghanaians.
So that is what you are expecting from this budget?
Yes, and you see, Master, the moment you start offloading more taxes to Ghanaians, the burden will increase. Fair? They are putting a lot of them on fuel. Already look at fuel prices. Fuel prices is going through the roof. Because fuel prices will exceed 7 cedis per litre. You are talking about 31 getting to 32 cedis a gallon. Can Ghanaians sustain that? And the moment you touch fuel, it is a cyclical effect. The BRBG, all other sectors, businesses that you say you are going to create. Because Magununu or Mugu School are a Jumani.
That is why the 50% benchmarking we are reversing it so that the automobile companies are back Ghana. You will be able to manufacture cars in this country and be able to use them ourselves. Is that not a good idea?
Do you know that all that you do in this country under so-called manufacturing is to put tires under the car? They don't manufacture anything here. They finish the car, ship it here and just fix the tires. They don't do any manufacturing here. Go to the car company and fix tires. That's all. They don't manufacture anything here. And I'm telling you that the government Abainan Kasa, competing with the private sector on the capital market. So because of the high interest rates, they will crowd out the private sector. So with the private businessman, whether Obetman Yesika expand his business. So where would the private sector get the money? The government is busy borrowing and denying the private sector the capital to expand. And private sector expand there.
But per your order paper this morning, now, did you see a new loan on the order paper? Is Parliament supposed to sit and approve new loans?
Yes, there are new loans. And there are new loans almost on a weekly basis. And I'm sure that even after this budget, we have to do some expedite some passage of some loans for them to be able to even get money to do some of the work they are expecting in the budget. So it's the same borrowing. So there's no innovative way by which government this. And at the same time, they're engaging in frivolous expenditure. Economy and until unisika, until yenina mendi gari and nkatye. Sa until omunina to order omuwi gari in nkatye. Na wu kwakoto chicken, heavy chicken legs na adie fried rice ni adie big food. Ababedi on omdi gari. So what we are doing is that the president Okanche said, "Nema yedi." Until yenina sacrifice. Only the Okofa plane, private jet, $22,000 an hour. Otisuru, Ejware. Yedi yetifum bread. So that is not the best way to spend money when you don't have that money, because the way or living in extravagance. We've just said private plane there, or master dining hall, master bedroom, master bibia, master jariya. For what? And look at the lives of your people. Where is that how a leader should show example for his people to follow? So we have said that the government should
office, the president office. How much do you anticipate government machinery?
Look,
how much do you?
Let me give you the example. The last budget, almost all ministries, department, and agencies, experienced cuts. They cut it because they said the money was not plenty. So they cut almost every ministry, department, and agency. You understand? Office of Government Machinery for that year, you are increasing it by 600 million Ghana cedis. Listen to my word, though. You are cutting local government, you are cutting defense, you are cutting interior, you are cutting. They cut almost all the ministries. Government, office of government, the president's office, they increase it by 600 million Ghana cedis. For what? For the first time in our history under Fourth Republic, common fund, in arrears almost to 4 quarters. The fourth quarter of last year, 2020, so the local government system are collapsing because local government is in Ominiska. They are all lying on the common fund, they have not paid. Okay, so now buying Sikadi, but look at the way they are spending our money rough. Edify private jets. The way they spend our money rough, Sanu, in the midst of this crisis. This is how government can best. I say we should have show prudence example and cut government expenditure and put the money at our local areas. The Minister for Roads, Opesika Amakwata, Onoma Amakwata, Opesika say Oyakwine. They have capped his money, road fund, for the past 5 years, about 3.2 billion cedis. You decide Akov Minister of Finance. When that money should have been left with the road fund, so ono makwata be announcing year of roads no. One announcing fee about VMBA because no cannot.
Okay, into honorable for saying na me do emini din komo no. Na say ma menje mu enfa mawo ni entwen say e be kan budget na wi. E kan budget na wi am e show so different reactions from the different side of the political device in so be ba. E no do ho a ye de bebre ahwefo NATA for no mo so mate.
That's Nanaya Asante and Koma Yedi na frase na yedi atwen afi edie no yesi nso beto amfra medical nti se be ye ne be praprakwam na ye bete ho ase ba bia ye free ba anye bia yakoya ni manase yakoya chinyema ase kra anandaso ewo ho na ye nkonkohwe ensam a yewura osechi mensa busu gina finance minister Kanuforiata na mu ede sa 2021 budget no etu edwa in March afi we no the okafa ya pom den ho hye na agenda 111 ewom agenda 111 ya pa ho ntoma besi sabre minim ba bi ya pa ho ntoma na ne ba bi awo no wo hunu ehun sunsuanso bi se eba so anase se yentin sama okan e edifa ho.
Mr. Speaker, in pursuit of government's health infrastructure drive, including Agenda 111, the ministry awarded contracts for the construction of 101 district hospitals, 7 regional hospitals, and 3 psychiatric hospitals. In 2021, the implementation of these projects would continue. In addition, the following health infrastructure projects were completed in 2020. Staff housing for 4 district hospitals at Trifopraso, Tepa, and Soy district hospitals. District hospitals in Sola, Tolon, Somenya, Buipe, Huita, and the polyclinic in Bamboy. 9 CHIPS components at Wiaboman, Greater Accra region, at Chilifo, Bono region, Kofiasua, Bono region, Manti Wareso, Brohaf region, Amachi Krombro region, Miriam Freewo, Bro region, Samproso, Ashanti region, Koforidia near Offenso, Ashanti region, Akaso, Western region. To expand health workforce, government recruited 58,191 personnel into the various agencies in the health system. Out of this, 50,970 were permanent staff, and the remaining 7,000 were temporary workers in 2020. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, government will continue with the construction of the following health infrastructure projects: the Koforidua Regional Hospital, Shama District Hospital, the La General Hospital, the Tema Regional Hospital, reconstruction of the Central Medical Store, District Hospital in Kranza, Accident and Emergency Center, Doma Hospital.
And some are audited to 2 regional hospitals and district hospitals now, Bosso, say, ye and Pacho baby, I want to say a bio hosa, ye we are with me at on Crano Eddie, it's about time. Say, ye my budget, Nick and Kano, and Concoye, a mere formality be an answer, rhetoric be an answer, somewhat ye, Janahonaya Kanake, na yako, nemum, ye bet ye been to was ye, na yenum. Na ya hwesa ye bia nsem ya baboro so se omen isika de be yo no ye de be yo ana ebi wo hono mo a eya ana service ka de be ye ne efri omen yanka se to a se ye begiginum ye wogidie se betimi agege sa to no enu ti ne de abu akonta ebi so hono mo a ya ne ye hwa ni mu se benya mo afri abonten emwa ne de ya hwa mo die timi bam na eto ne gege no se ye ntimi anyege a na ye die ntimi ye ntimi anyege eya kwadworo nhye pa ye mfa nwu akwan mu ana se nipa no na enya na dwe so betua ade ba ko a woni Ghana ni bia di nkomo a obetimi aka kire no se eto no se mitua na me hu se de be dia ye de be ya de papa bi dia eto de bia amanfo ehu wastage bebre wo system nim o hwese sometimes o mampani bez wo move akọ ba bi cars di na chie be a bear 30-40 cars be a full so amanfo ewo believe and as a perception be say sa enyo mani nyina ye waste esan say ewom so mampani security no ne ade ehia a wo say yehwe na ye pekwan bia be fa so be won ho ban de nanso se cars makoma ko be 30-40 bi o mampani achu bi afu agina so a sa afu no ye de aban sika ni tuaka de sa ne mani mani nyina no eya na se be kum ni pasunsun o tuatua ho ni niam anketenkete bi ye benya to ase aban no so ba ye nkɔ hwe ye debt levels ye kai ote se ye yewura ABF seni ekotu yewura kwache aka abawom no daahye hene kasa na ekotu figures no ba bi akwaduru na anokra ya list ye IMF ne World Bank no mo list ye amongst 33 countries and as 34 countries are on mu chire mu a ye debt levels no ti se ba bi akwaduru na enye kra no ye ntie nsɛm a yero se chairman sabusu then okasa ede ama finance minister kafa ye debt levels no.
Mr. Speaker, the total debt stock mix was made up of a provisional figure of 141.780 billion for external debt and 149.833 billion for domestic debt, accounting approximately for 48% and 51.4% of the total public debt stock, respectively. As a percentage of GDP, external domestic debt represented 36.99% and 39.09% respectively. Speaker, the total public debt has increased from 122 billion, that is 6.9 GDP, to 291.6 billion, that is 76.1% of GDP as at the end of December 2020. Included in the debt stock and the debt to GDP ratio at the end of 2020 are the following non-recurrent burdens that we had to deal with as a matter of urgency. One, the fiscal impact of COVID-19 is 19.7 billion. The cost of the financial sector cleanup is 21 billion Ghana cedis. Cost of excess capacity charges, EPs, that's 12 billion Ghana cedis. The impact of the reduction in growth from an average of 7% to 0.9% in 2020. Speaker, if these expenditures are excluded and the drop in GDP growth in 2020 primarily attributable to COVID-19 pandemic is taken into account, the total stock of debt for 2020 would have been approximately 239.9 billion, implying a debt to GDP ratio of 58.7%. In 2021, Mr. Speaker, of 171,241,500 Ghana cedis will be paid for the first and second semesters of the 2020 and 2021 academic year.
Eti also ensem no de eto dwana na quickly yenhwe GDP no gross domestic product na projections ampenifo ye for the year 2021 na baby agina anye bia no yetimi achieve ya na say yentimi achieve nempo foforo ben ampenifo be hwe so de beba wo hwe mu a omo ankasa per table no ye description real GDP na 2019 wo hwe se de na esi etie na wo de 2020 de nso aba ansana wanyanto wase 2019 wo hwe actual na 6.5% growth na sem na making and 2020 0.9 eno de obia enim se covid na ban na nkasa so betrem se covid nti ba wo hwe 2021 target na GDP growth no real GDP growth no it hovers around 5% target and mpenifo ehye na medium term target no 2021 to 2024 no should be 5%, but 5% na buy no a target is here make us say a hefa na igina. I think say also all share figures na ejinabe 3.9 It say target no yenya enuru ho but you are making some progress per baby ana yejina afrase no na growth in real GDP non oil 5.8%. 2020 non oil no 1.6%. And ohwe 2021 year penifo apegin at 6.7%. 6.7%. And nti sana no so ho asem esi etie ye pese yira kenofurata din nsem nyina betudwa na yafawe last year projections no baby ya ba be Bruce see any projections ayeye ne this year ahead of 2022 no na yenyanto wase ahwe se anye bia realistic sustainable bibia ebetimi abamu na abamu so a ba na bebamu no on paper yitimi ye economics na mane ye fefefe macro micro but effect and as impact nso anso wo man so ni sika sem so no eno ne bia ehia yi pa yetwe homra ba ye nkomo na aka nyina beto so